Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
No Nielson, no Huss. Matt Iwanyk with you here on the Lock Shop, presented by Play Alberta. Dusty, he'll be back next week. Huss, he'll be back next Tuesday, as he's off at to cover the Canadian Open, the RBC Canadian Open, which gets going out in Toronto tomorrow. He's traveling today. So myself with you here on the Lock Shop. Thank you to everyone for listening on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, Apple Music, on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube. Also, be sure to subscribe and download us wherever you get your podcast. A little bit of a different Lock Shop coming up today. Momentarily, I will bring in YouTube Trev. We will talk some Stanley Cup Finals. We'll get his take on what we're expecting to see down at Rogers Place for Game 1 and for this series. And then a little bit later in this show, at about 11:30, we will have Matt Humans. He's a senior editor and host of VSiN Primetime on VSiN. We're going to talk some NBA Finals with Matt. Tomorrow, the NBA Finals does get going. Tomorrow, though, I will be talking some Canadian Football League on the Lock Shop as the season gets going tomorrow. So today, we'll do a little bit of NBA Finals. If you have any questions on the NBA Finals, be sure to text us 780-218-9999, and I will add your questions to throw Matt's way. What are some of the best bets we could be looking at in that series? How does he see that series playing? Do the Pacers have any shot? We will get to Matt on that as well. And then we'll have to build some sort of Lock Shop parlay. I have some ideas, but I'm going to need your help. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. I'll bring YouTube Trev on screen, at least for now. Trev, how are you?
Matthew,
how you feeling?
Iwanyk.
Welcome to the Lock Shop for the first time.
Yeah, it's been graced by many amazing voices. Dustin Nielson, the Hustler, Iwanyk, Glue Guy, and now YTT. What's up? How's it going, Lock Shoppers? What is up, Lock Shoppers?
I like that. I don't think I've ever said Lock Shoppers, but
that's what Huss says. Is. I like it. I like it. You know what, Matty? I'm doing great. The vibes are high today. I am nervous. I asked Hernan going in because all playoffs nerves have been low for the Hernan Salas, the Latino Heat. But the nerves are high for me today. I will say, I will not lie. I am pretty nervous. I talked about it quite a bit on the Nielsen show today, but very excited. It all comes down to this kind of. It's the final. Here we are again. I was able to partake in this last year, obviously, as a pre and post producer, which was fun. A little bit of a different approach for me this year, as I am full fan. I'm a fan again, so it's good. I'm loving it, and here's hoping. Game 1 all starts tonight. I cannot wait, Matthew Iwanyk.
Those new promo codes for the month of June at Play Alberta, they are up. They are live. EST Casino, when you deposit 20 or more, will get you a $50 casino bonus. Again, EST Casino, or you can use EST Sports when you deposit 20 or more to get a $50 free sports bet. There's also a YEG50 when you deposit 5 or more for a $50 free bet. Right now, early bird bet, courtesy Dustin Nielson, Edmonton Oilers to win. Connor McDavid, 2+ points. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 1+ assist. That is plus 690. Dusty's play of the day is Corey Perry, 1+ point in Game 1. That's plus 105. Just head to Play Alberta or download the app and click on EST Specials. And they will pop up there. Jay will have his play of the day a little bit later. He'll send it to me. I'll send it to Play Alberta. We'll get it up there. We'll do some sort of, as I said, Lock Shop parlay that we'll throw up there. And at the same time, we will also have the grandest parlay thrown up there as the boys, I know they are working on it. Maverick saying YG50 new customers only. I tried using it and it didn't work for me. I think it's still there for existing customers, but it is here. And I will have to go get this confirmed. I'll have to go double check this, and I'll have to wait till Dusty's back to double check this. What we're said is that promo code has been rolled over from the month of May. So if you used it in May, I don't think you can use it in June anymore. I tried using it. I wasn't able to use it. But if you hadn't used it in May and you're an existing customer, you should still probably be able to use that. But I will have to double check on that once Dusty is back. But you still have EST Sports. What did I used my promo code on that one. What did I do that one on? I think McDavid, I used my $50 free bet on McDavid leading the series in points.
I think that's a safe bet.
$65 then in my pocket.
Boom. Yeah, when Matty asked Trev, Lock Shop tomorrow, are you in? I said, you bet. Get it?
I get it. because it's a betting thing.
Yes,
Trev, so you're nervous about this series?
I'm a little bit nervous.
I don't. You're like one of the few Oiler fans out there that I've come across that feels nervous. Hernan Salas has already tweeted Oilers in 5. Hernan is one of the most, I don't want to say defeated, but hardest people I know on the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
And it has flipped since the Golden Knights series, but he's already going out there saying Oilers in 5 against the Panthers. What are you nervous about?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to be nervous about, but there's a lot to be optimistic about. As far as nerves go, you're going up against the reigning Cup champs, and you got Matthew Tkachuk. You just look up the lineup, and I don't know about you, but I was able to. I consumed quite a bit of the Panthers so far in the playoffs, and they've looked unbelievable. First series there against Lightning, I had the Lightning over the Panthers, and that didn't go over well. I thought the Lightning, kind of like the LA Kings, they were red hot going into the postseason this year. I really thought the Lightning were going to go far again this year, but no. Sasha Barkov, Sam Bennett, and company had a lot to say about that, and then you got the second series, and it's looking good. It's looking good, and then next thing you know, Bob's your uncle. I'm saying that a lot, but the Panthers were able to take care of business against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then the Hurricanes, it's a little bit different for this year. It seemed no one was really talking about the Hurricanes, a little bit quieter. And I think that kind of went well in their favor. But, I mean, again, it was no competition. The Florida Panthers were all over the Carolina Hurricanes, and it wasn't even close. You talk about pressure. The Carolina Hurricanes, they're a pretty good forechecking team as well. But the Panthers, Rob Brendamore, he came out and said they're the standard. And it's true for both of these teams, the Oilers and the Panthers. But I've said it, whatever the Oilers can do, you could argue that the Florida Panthers could do just as good, if not better. The special teams battle, I mean, the Oilers' power play at times, it's looked really good, which is awesome, and they haven't had to lean towards it too much, but it's the PK. I think that's what I'm most nervous about. They're going into this series with, I think I wrote it down here, what is the PK? 66% for the Edmonton Oilers. And, you expect that out of the first few games, with the numbers, they're going to adjust, right? But you're into the Cup Final, you're 12, what have the Oilers played now? 15 games, 16 games. And that's a decent amount of games. And the fact that the PK is still chipping away at 66%, that's not the best. And when you look at it, the other side of the ice, the PK for the Florida Panthers, 87.9%, which is first in the league. The Oilers are second last in the league. And again, the teams that they're up against, they're the first round exits, right? Because those numbers, they're going to obviously fluctuate. But special teams battle is something I'm going to be fascinated about. And I mean, you look at it for the LA Kings, they're going up against the Oilers. Okay, this is the year. It's kind of that same thing. The Oilers are going up against the Florida Panthers for the second straight year. And I don't know, there seems to be a lot of belief in this team. The players know it, the coaching staff, the organization, they all seem to have that swagger. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the team. They got a chip on the shoulder, the Florida Panthers do. And I don't know, I'm just, I know a lot of analysts, some analysts are saying they're picking the Florida Panthers to win. Some are picking the Oilers to win, but I don't know, man. I'm nervous. All around, I'm nervous. I really am.
That's fair. Okay, I mean, I did this with Belzy and Benny on the Hango. So I'm going to do it with you, but I'm going to change a little something from them.
Change the narrative.
Who's got the edge? Florida or Edmonton, top 6 forwards?
That's a good question there, Matthew. I mean, that's another really good point, and I'd have to give it probably to the Oilers, and that is one pro that I'm looking Edmonton at for the Oilers. As you're coming into this series, the Oilers, the big guys, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they played a lot of hockey, and they've talked about it last year. Just what a it was Draisaitl with one of the interviews. He said it was just that series took so much out of the team. Even though they won, it was a battle. It went to 7 games there. It was a battle that took a lot out of them. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going into the Cup Final a lot healthier this year. And I saw a stat the other day. I tried pulling it up for this, but I couldn't find it. But it was just the numbers compared to this year compared to last year. Of the big guys, 97-29 heading into the final, and just a drastic difference. Like the Oilers, the Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl have played a substantial less amount of hockey compared to last year, and I think that's going to be huge. So as far as top 6 goes, I know, you got Bennett, you got Tkachuk, You got 50-goal scorer in Reinhart, Sasha Barkov, defensive forward in him, but he can also put the puck in the net. I don't know. I just feel like the Oilers, they counter with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I don't know. I'd still give the edge to the Oilers, but it's close.
Who's got the better bottom six?
I think you got to go with the Florida Panthers there.
Okay.
Everybody's talking about that third line, which is pretty insane to see what they've been able to do. Lundell is just a stud 2020 draft right before Dylan Holloway. And then you got Brad Marchand, who's still got it, man. He's looked good. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if the Panthers get past the Toronto Maple Leafs in that series. So I'd give it to the Florida Panthers personally.
Okay. Defensively, who's got the edge?
Oh, and this is where it gets interesting because they have made some adjustments. And this is one thing I'm extremely fascinated to see how the Oilers match up is, the Panthers forecheck, and how is that going to hold up against the Oilers' effectiveness to move the puck? Because John Klingberg is substantially better than Vinny Desharnais, especially, the quick ups. I remember Cass would talk about it a lot. Get the puck out of the zone. John Klingberg is doing that way better than Vincent Desharnais. And I'm sorry I'm not taking shots at Vinny, but I kind of am. And then Jake Wallman, I love Bowman. I think every single game he is looking more confidence with the puck, and they've talked about it in intermissions, just his confidence level. Yeah, his goal, he set up Matthias Janmark to go up 2-0, I think, or it was a 3-0 against the Stars there, the game winner. So I'm being long-winded here, but I'd give the slight edge maybe to the Oilers as well.
Okay, goaltending.
If you know me, I don't know. I'd probably, you got to give it to Bob.
Okay. That's no, as good as Skinner has been, like, Bobrovsky hasn't been pulled these playoffs. I guess, for benched for a period of time. He's been pulled. But that's the thing that I think there's just it's not a knock on Skinner. I think it's close, but it's just respect to Bobrovsky. I'm combining these two because in the hangout, it didn't work the other way as much. Who's got the better overall special teams?
See, and that's what, I don't know. What do you favor? Do you favor the team? I know the narrative defense wins championships.
Yes.
And so if you're going off that, technically the Panthers do have the better PK.
But the Stars went into the second and third round conference finals with a really good PK.
Yeah.
And the Oilers PPP.
Hold up. Yeah. So it's the Oilers have the better PP, the lesser PK. But it's opposite for the Panthers. They've got the little bit of a lesser power play, but their PK is substantially better, I'd say. Substantially. I don't think it's close. If you watch them, them on the PK, yes, the teams, the Oilers, they will have zone possession, but you're not going to have any time on ice. That's one thing I've really noticed, and it's that forecheck mentality. They're always on you. It is very rare that you see the Florida Panthers on the penalty kill sit back. They don't sit back. They are pushing you. They want you to make moves, make mistakes. And then, Brad Marchand, I know it's changed. I don't know how he's done so far, but for the Bruins, I'm pretty sure he was their leading, in history, the franchise leader in penalty kill goals, man advantage goals. So, PK goals, right? Penalty kill goals. Yeah. So, and I'm pretty sure he's on the PK as well, but yeah, so it's tough. I flip a coin. I think it's 50-50, honestly. What do you favor, though?
Well, that was the question I threw for you.
What do you favor?
You. If you had it, don't give me 50-50. Pick one. Just quickly.
I have faith that the Oilers will be
we're going
able
to Edmonton.
I give
coaching.
it to Edmonton.
Final one, coaching.
This is where it's tough. I talked a lot about, I've praised Paul Maurice quite a bit. I think he's the best coach. I think he's right up there with Cooper. But it's nice to see Knobloch he's getting respect. He's getting, his name's already out there, but a lot of analysts are really praising what Knobloch's been able to do. And I love that. I think he's an awesome coach. There was doubts going into this season. I know there is probably February to March where a lot of people were questioning some of his decisions. And that was probably the only time that I've seen that. Before that, it was, I remember, producing pre and post last year, just, wow. I remember going into the third period, why is Derek Ryan doing this? Why is he in this game? Then sure enough, he scores. He's a shot caller. Everything he seems to make, every decision he makes, it's worked out for the Oilers. And people are questioning, I sound like a broken record, but the Kapanen Why is he in? And then the second game in the playoffs, he scores. So I do love Chris Knobloch. I think he's the best coach they have had in the McDavid era, and I don't even think it's close, but I'm still giving the edge to Paul Maurice. I do.
So you've got it 3-3. You've got this as a very tight series.
And I do.
If you were looking at, tonight's game, who do you like to score first?
You know what's funny? I gave him a lot of praise, but I'd love to know the number on this. He hasn't scored since Game 2 of the Vegas Golden Knights series. He has a bomb, and I kind of was just talking. I got a hunch. Sometimes I got a hunch, and I'm going to be betting on this. Jake Wellman goal. I don't know if he scores first, but I'm thinking he's getting on the board tonight.
I got to see if I can find what that would be.
I'm going to put a little sprinkle on that. It's a hunch. Sometimes I like to go away from the McDavids, the Draisaitl's. I think Draisaitl is a safe bet as well.
A Wallman goal and its own.
Tell me, baby.
Is plus 1367.
I love it.
So if Jake Wallman just scores today, let alone the first goal, a $10 bet would get you $146.
It's music to my ears. I'm not saying do it, but I think I'm going to.
Hey, you've had your moments throughout the year where you've had those hunches, and
yes,
you lay a little you sprinkle to me. It could be like, hey, if you lay down $1,
yeah,
that's $14 you're walking away from.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. So I do like Draisaitl though. He didn't score against this team at all in the 7 games they faced last year in the finals. Got 3 points, 3 apples.
Well, it was a 3-0 first game last year, game 1.
Ugh.
Over under 6.5 for this game. What type of game are you expecting? Do you think we'll see tonight?
Jeez, it's tough to say, man. I'm having a hard read. Like I was pretty well wrong in every game against the Stars. When I was on the hangout, I was like, there's going to be goals galore, and then it ended up not being that many. Tonight, I think there's going to be some goals. Oh, I don't think it's going to be over 6.5 though.
So what? You think like 4-2, 3-2?
Yeah, 4-2.
4-2, 3-2. Like, because the one thing is last year, I could see, a little nerves. The Panthers had been there. The Oilers had never been to the Cup Final.
Yeah.
This year, neither team really has any nerves. The Panthers don't come into this series thinking, we got to get our cup. Like, we're back. And the Oilers go, we've been here.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little, like, sometimes when you watch championships, whether it's a singular game or a series, early on, it could be tentative out there as they're feeling each other out. I feel like they're both ready to go, and they're just going to come rolling out.
Yeah.
But 6.5 is high. And with the way the goalies are like, for it to be over, Skinner's letting in it, like, or it's either a 5-2 hockey game for, let's say, the Edmonton Oilers, and Bobrovsky's letting in 5. Yeah. Or Skinner's having a rough game a little bit in himself.
So
6.5 is a high number.
It is.
As I think about this one for game 1.
So you say there's no nerves. And that's
fair.
I
think there might be less nerves than there was last year. Again, because the Panthers had been there, but they had lost. So maybe the nerves are like, we can't lose this again, and we got to get off to a good start. For the Oilers, it was their first time getting to a Cup Final. This year, the Oilers have that little bit of nerves of, we can't blow this. We're back for a second straight year. Whereas the Panthers, this is their 3rd straight year. They've been here. They've done it. I think they come in very calm.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's one question I was going to ask Belsey. Maybe I'll send him a text here later, but I don't know about superstitions. I don't know if it's just hockey. I know you follow the NBA quite a bit. Is that something that's talked about in the realm? Like,
it's a thing that's known. I don't know if there's the superstitions as much of like other titles. Like baseball celebrates clinching a playoff spot with champagne in the locker room.
Okay. Yeah. So, but like, is LeBron James, does he have a certain water bottle that he's been, Crosby, he's wearing the same jock strap he has since junior.
I'm assuming there'd be some stuff like that.
And so
if we dove into it.
Yeah. And that's kind of
superstitions.
What I'm getting at here is the Oilers, they were on the road to start every series this year.
Okay. I'm just sorry to interrupt, but like somebody's already pointed out Tiger in red. Tiger always wearing red. That to me would borderline. That's a superstition in a sense. Why is he always wearing red? There's the thing about Canadian Larry Walker. He wore 33. He's always requested a phone number with as many 3s as possible. His alarm clock was always set to go off at 33 minutes past the hour. His marriage ceremony began at 3:33 on November 3rd.
That's my birthday.
So players, I think I have that marked down somewhere. So there are, I think there are, if you go through sports, there would be a lot of that.
And so where I'm getting at is there, like, in the locker room, I wonder if the Oilers, like, are they aware of this? Do you think they're superstitious going in? Okay, I like our chances. I like our team. This team is far superior than last year's. It seems a lot smoother. But as well, we've been on the road for every single series to start, and we're at home for this one. Like, I'm really on that. I don't know if I'm on that too much, but something about the change there. I don't know if I don't know. I've been sitting on that all night, and all morning, and we were talking about that, LT and I, on the morning show, and JMO as well. Just backs against the wall. This team really likes being the enemy, and they do well under pressure. But I mean, I'm really nervous for if the Oilers let in the first goal today. The crowd's gonna be amazing. I just don't know how they're going to respond if they allow in the first goal in the first 5 minutes.
The crowd will be all right. Where I would have the concern of Oiler fans at Rogers Place if the Oilers are down by 2 or more in the third period. Now, all it takes is one goal from the Oilers, and that crowd will be right back into it. But the nerves do settle into Rogers Place. I have seen that last year. I've seen that this year.
Yeah.
And if they are down 2 late in the third, like there was one game I remember sitting next to Bells and like they should be getting up right now. The crowd should be going right now to try to get the Oilers moving on. I haven't seen that too much. And how does that impact the Edmonton Oilers? But the Oilers are also just a good enough team that I don't think that matters. I'll always believe the Oilers could come back until the final buzzer.
Yeah.
They could be down 2 or 3 goals with 2 minutes left, and I'll still believe that they have a chance. Just because of what we've seen that team do, especially when they have that extra man. It can be just absolutely electric. The Oilers minus 133 on the money line. For tonight's game, the Panthers plus 100 overall in the series at Play Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers are the favorite to also win this series, minus 125, while the Panthers are plus 100 to win the series. If you're looking to bet on exact wins, the Oilers gentleman sweep, it is still plus 600. Oh. In 6 is plus 550. In 7's plus 450. An Oilers sweep plus 1,100. Later today, Jay's play of the day. I've sent it in. I will not tell you what it is because he'll tell you what it is on the Reed Wilkins Show with J-Mo. Or you could go to Play Alberta, playalberta.ca, download the app later, and you'll see it up shortly.
And Glue Guy has been red hot.
He has been hot.
I think he's starting a new streak.
And once again, 100 or EST Casino. EST Sports, deposit 20 or more for each of those promo codes, and you'll get a $50 casino bonus, or you'll get a $50 free sports bet. And as I said, I used mine for this month on Connor McDavid leading the series in points, which could be a nice one for me.
I think that's really good. And yeah, just quickly on McDavid. I mean, it feels like so long ago, but this season you could argue it was probably, well, statistically speaking, a lot of people were talking about, oh, is he banged up? I don't know, because he didn't really look like Connor McDavid. And that was the discussion as far as points goes. Like, we were like, oh, like the 100-point streak, is he going to eclipse it? I don't know. We were talking about that quite a bit. But then you see the Four Nations, and in game 1 there, just against Sweden, the first period, you're like, okay, McDavid, he shows up in the big moments. You know this. And kind of what I'm getting at here is I really, really think, he was able to, what he was able to do last year in the finals. He's been awesome in this playoffs. Like, he's been awesome. You ask anyone, obviously he's been amazing, but I really think this playoffs or this final, we're going to be talking about, maybe not just some of the greatest hockey ever played by a certain player. I really think he does have an extra level, and I think it's going to be on full display. And I can't wait. Like, I've been thinking about it ever since, they beat the Stars there. It's just, I really do think he's been awesome, but I seriously think he's going to just bring it up, an extra level, which is, I get goosebumps talking about it, Matty.
Timberwolvesman just dropped 10 on Wallman. It's on you, Trev.
10? Oh, geez. Okay, well, there we go.
So we'll see what happens. Trev, thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate this little primer. By the way, Connor Brown says he will be in for tonight. He's declaring himself in for tonight's game. So he's battling an illness. But he'll be in that lineup. So looks like Jeff Skinner maybe will be out. Oil Stream coming up at noon. Glue Guy, Jay Milne, and Tom Gazzola live from Rogers Place. They'll have you fully covered with that. Trev, thank you again. I will let you slide out. We'll momentarily talk with Matt Humans from VSiN Sports as we'll look a little to the NBA Finals. Coming up here. So that gets going tomorrow out in OKC as they'll be playing host to the Pacers. I need to figure out from Matt whether he thinks there's any what shot is there in the Pacers, or what then would be the best bets that we're looking at when it comes to the NBA Finals that is upcoming here. And then I'm going to need your help, Nasties, or lock shoppers, as Huss will say. I'm going to need your help. We're going to build a little bit of a lock shop parlay today. Mark, and so no golf talk. We did golf yesterday. We did the golf talk yesterday with Huss because he wasn't going to be here today. We did have a lock shop parlay that was up yesterday. It is now down. I don't know if there's a way you could parlay it on Play Alberta. I'd have to go double check. But we did have Shane Lowry top 20. Huss's, if you missed it yesterday, he did like Shane Lowry. He liked Ludwig Aberg to go out and potentially win at this tournament. Pendrith has been playing very well if you want a little bit of a sprinkle, as well as I was a fan. I liked Nick Taylor to be the top Canadian. This is a guy that coming off a pretty good weekend at the Memorial. A different course, but he has won at the RBC Canadian Open recently. So I did like Nick Taylor to be the top Canadian. That one yesterday was plus 400. I don't know if I'll have to pull up here, see if it's changed at all. Plus top Canadian right now. As I scroll, apologies. Top Canadian, yeah, he's still plus 400. So some good value on that. To fill us, where is Huss? Huss is flying out today to the RBC Canadian Open. And then he'll be there tomorrow and Friday. So he won't be on the show. I'll mix in a couple of ES tiers on the show over the next few days. Tomorrow we'll recap Stanley Cup Finals. We'll also look ahead to the start of the CFL season. Friday, we'll keep talking Stanley Cup Finals. And we'll also look ahead to the weekend in sports, including the Edmonton Elks out in BC for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They have a bye week, so we don't have much to talk about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But I am fascinated by the NBA Finals because, like, everyone I'm talking to, everyone, like even myself, it was the Thunder and 5, the Thunder and 5, the Thunder and 5. So, you know, as a guy who isn't, I'm not Huss, I'm not Dusty when it comes to sports betting. I have things that I need to learn. But when it comes to the NBA Finals, where's the value here then? When you're going into a series where you think one team is going to go dominate, where are those values? And I look forward to talking to Matt Human shortly here. I know, and I said, before I lost my train of thought there, I do want to build a lock shop parlay with you. I have two ideas of where I could go about this. But again, a lot of you know this better than I do in terms of how should you go about building this. And I'm going to throw two things kind of your way, and whether it's in the Nasty Chat or whether it's in the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, I'm going to need your help on saying, okay, let's fine tune this. Let's get something perfect as we approach this. So I'm going to need your help. To Zach, hats. It depends what they are. It's on the website. The pricing. If it's a trucker hat, it's $35. If it's a regular hat, it's $40. If the flat, and then my boxes are in my office and stuff. So otherwise, I'll have to get it at noon. Sorry, Trev, are we ready to go? Oh, we're calling Matt Humans here. I've got a lot now coming at me at this moment. No, that's not bad. Rod Z, bet against San Francisco on the money line after scoring allowing 4 runs or less 3 games. San Francisco record since 2024 is 3-14. So Rod Z's got you. He's got you covered a little bit in the Nasty Chat when it comes to MLB right now. He also says bet Atlanta in home games on the money line, revenging a loss versus an opponent as a home favorite. Atlanta record during the 2025 season right now this season, they are 8-0. So Rod Z with a little bit of baseball for you there. And yeah, I don't know what the boys are cooking up for the grandest parlay either. Yesterday they had a really good one. I did like it. Do I still have it? It's off the site now, but for anyone that did jump on the grandest parlay, and this is why you got to go to Play Alberta, playalberta.ca, and click on EST specials, because things just pop up and they come and go. And Uke had yesterday McDavid, Conn Smythe, Bush, 5 or plus points, McDavid series point leader, and Oilers to win the cup. I could be, was that plus 950 or something like that? It was a really good little thing that the DGen Den created in the Discord. So I'm looking forward to what they're doing there. Big Hugh, I'll text you about that after. I think I know what happened there. We're good to go. Joining us now from VSiN. He is the senior editor and host of VSiN Primetime on VSiN. Matt Youmans joins us now. And Matt, we really appreciate the time. We wanted to talk some NBA Finals today. And where I'll start with you, give me a reason, if you can, of why some might think the Pacers could win the title over the OKC Thunder.
There are not many people who believe in the Pacers. I think the Pacers can extend this series. I believe it could be a longer series than a lot of people think. I've talked to a lot of respected NBA bettors, guys who are serious players, and they say OKC in a sweep or OKC in 5. I don't think so. There are certain things that I think play into the Pacers' favor in this series, and they can get at least a couple games and make this interesting. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I don't think the Pacers are going to be a pushover for the Thunder. You know, it's interesting right now. We have a Stanley Cup Final that's basically a toss-up, and we have an NBA Finals that's where we have one of the biggest favorites in the history of the finals. And both of them are going to be great series. I think Pacers are going to make this a lot more interesting than people think, I believe.
As you said, like with the Stanley Cup Finals, and obviously we're in Edmonton and our team's in it in this city. There's a lot of value you can find. There's a lot of different bets you can go find. When you look at a series like this NBA Finals, where you see, and most people feel like one team should go ultimately hoist the title, where are the value bets that you look at, or how do you go about approaching a series where it looks like one team, might have the potential of rolling in that series?
Yeah, that's a good question, because there are ways to find value in a series like this when you have a huge favorite. OKC Thunder minus 700 on the money line. So how are you going to bet that? You don't want to lay 700 to win 100. And there's not many people who do that. Now, what I've done with this, because I believe the Pacers are going to extend the series, I bet the exact result props. Thunder to win in 6 games at plus 450. That's 9-2 odds, and Thunder to win in 7 for a smaller bet at 5-1 odds. So if the Pacers can get this past 5 games, they'll be in good shape there. I mean, you're taking a minus 700 favorite and trying to predict the exact number of games and turning that into plus 450 or 5-1 odds, and I think that's the way you have to play it. I actually give the Pacers somewhat of a puncher's chance to even win the series if they can get hot offensively. I don't think this OKC Thunder team is bulletproof like a lot of people are talking about. You've got a young coach who's never been here before. You got a young team. I think this is the second youngest team to ever reach the NBA Finals. And then on the flip side, with the Pacers, you got Rick Carlisle, who's one of the best coaches in the business. He's been there. He's done it. He's won it. You got a more of a veteran team with the Pacers. They've knocked out the Knicks 2 years in a row. They're not going to be afraid of the Thunder. And also, from the statistical perspective, Pacers are the number 1 3-point shooting team in the playoffs at 40%. OKC shoots the 3 at 33.6%. So Pacers get hot from 3. They're an incredibly efficient offensive team at times. Second best offensive efficiency rating in the playoffs of 117.7 points per 100 possessions. If the Pacers can execute their half-court offense and get some fast break points, which is not going to be easy, the OKC D is going to be a lot tougher than what the Pacers face against the Knicks, then I think we're going to see a longer series. And that's what, to answer your question, I tried to play the Thunder in 6 here at plus 450, Thunder in 7 at 5-1. And also we'll look for some player props throughout the series. Guys like Benedict Mathurin for the Pacers over 8 points, maybe in game 1, or Alex Caruso for the Thunder over 9 points. Really searching for value in a series like this where you have a big favorite, but you don't want to lay the big price on the favorite.
We're Matt Youmans from VSiN joining us here. You can follow him on Twitter at Matt Youmans 24/7. Okay, game 1, the Thunder 9.5 point favorites with our site here in Play Alberta. The Pacers, though, are a team that they've had a lot of comebacks throughout these playoffs. You can never count them out.
Yeah.
Is this one? Is that what do you make of that line for game one?
Well, that line's basically based on a rating. OKC's rating is going to be about 5.5 points better than the Pacers. Then you add in about 5 points better. Then you add in home court, and also the maybe a little bit that the betting public's going to back the favorite in this game. I'll give you one trend. It definitely does not work in the Pacers' favor here. Game one NBA Finals underdogs the last 20 years, since 2005. Game one underdogs, 2-18 straight up, 3-17 against the spread. That doesn't make you want to run out and bet the Pacers in game one, does it? I know it doesn't with me. And talking about dogs of 5 points or more in game one of the NBA Finals, last 20 years, those dogs, we're going to talk bigger dogs, 0-12 straight up, 1-11 ATS. So game one does not, I'm not painting a pretty picture for the Pacers here in game one, but I think, it's going to be a longer series. You need to win more than one game to win a series, obviously. And I think the Pacers can stretch this thing out. And like you said, they're comeback kids. They've been down 15 points or more and come back to win 3 playoff games. And that's because they can shoot the three. Like I said, a team that shoots the three at 40% and is the number one 3-point shooting team in the playoffs.
And finally, when looking for the winner of the MVP of the NBA Finals, do you see any value there, or is it? Are we just looking at SGA for this?
I don't even know how you can bet SGA. He's minus 600, minus 650. And it looks like if OKC wins the series, it's going to be SGA, and I'm not sure who else has a shot. I guess Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, you could say have a shot. It looks like one of those situations where we used to talk about with the Patriots. If they won the Super Bowl, Tom Brady was going to be MVP, right? If the Thunder win this series, SGA is probably going to be MVP. I guess you could flip it and say, hey, I believe in the Pacers. I think they can pull the upset. I'm going to bet Tyrese Halliburton to be MVP, or Pascal Siakam, if you want to take a shot with the Pacers and think that somebody else can win the award. That's not one I even took a shot at, because when you have a big favorite like SGA that you feel like is going to be the MVP, it's kind of tough to bet that market. And I'll say one more thing. This total in game one, 231.5 at some spots right now in Vegas. That would be, if that closes 231, that would be the highest single game total in NBA Finals history. So that's something to keep in mind too. I think there was, in a Golden State Warriors Finals game about 7 or 8 years ago, it was a total of 231, but 231.5 out there at some spots right now. And I also say that I'm rooting for the Edmonton Oilers to win the Cup. More of a Western Conference guy. I watched the Vegas Golden Knights take down the Florida Panthers a couple of years ago in 5 games. The Oilers can do it. They're obviously good enough, and hopefully losing that series a year ago, they learned some lessons, and they can take down the Panthers. I'm tired of seeing the Panthers in the finals. This is 3 years in a row. They got to get a cup for Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Stuart Skinner. Let's keep it in the West, and hopefully the Oilers can take this down.
I know all of our listeners will love hearing that for you, Matt. Really appreciate the insight into the NBA Finals. Enjoy both the Stanley Cup Final and the NBA Finals, and maybe we could chat down the line.
Hey, you too. You bet. Thank you.
Matt Youmans, a senior editor and host of VSiN Primetime on VSiN, helping us learn a little bit more about the NBA Finals. And look, just won you all over. Follows the Vegas Golden Knights. It was there, but it's cheering on your Edmonton Oilers to take down this Florida Panther team. So there you go. Down in Vegas, they're on the Edmonton Oilers. Everyone's going to be on the Edmonton Oilers. That's how it's going to go. This text into the Paris Jewelers inbox. What were all the new promo codes for June? EST Casino. EST Casino, all caps, for when you deposit 20 or more for a $50 casino bonus, or EST Sports when you deposit 20 or more to get a $50 free sports bet. So we're going to get into a lock shot parlay. I said I'm going to need your help on this one. One of the things I actually was going to be looking at is I like the Pacers to cover. I thought the Pacers cover. And then the stats matches throughout there when it comes to game ones and the underdog against the spread. I think he's at 1-11 there, or what? It wasn't good. Because what I was looking at is, so there's two ways I could go about this. And this is where I'm going to need your help, as Huss would say, lock shoppers. I'm glad Trev reminded me of saying that word. Lock shoppers. Here's how we go about this. We could stick with it. I was either going to do a series combo between the NHL Stanley Cup Final and the NBA Finals, where I was going to go something like maybe take OKC in 5. Oilers win the series. McDavid, Conn Smythe, SGA is Finals MVP. We put the two Canadians as MVP. We take the Thunder and the Oilers to win it all. I don't think taking the Thunder and SGA both to just win the series and win the Finals MVP, which is the Finals MVP not the Bill Russell Trophy now? I think it's got an official name for it now. Yeah, it's the Bill Russell's NBA Finals Most Valuable Player. I think the number would be a little bit lower there. So there was that one. So it was Oilers to win the Stanley Cup, Thunder to do it in 5, SGA, Bill Russell, NBA Finals MVP, and McDavid is the Conn Smythe. The other was, I look at specifically game ones. We got game 1 of the Cup Final tonight. We got game 1 of the NBA Finals tomorrow. And we got game 1 of the CFL season tomorrow. So I was looking at the idea of maybe we take the Oilers on the money line. Because of what Matt has just said, we take the Thunder to cover 9.5. Maybe do we try to bring that down to like 8.5? Just to give us an extra point. And tomorrow in the Canadian Football League, Huss and I both were like this. We like the Riders to cover. It was 3.5. Or maybe that's when we keep the Thunder at 9.5 and we put the Riders at 2.5. What do you think is better? Which way do you think we should maybe go with this for a lock shop part? Or do you have something else that I should throw in? Do you have something else I could do about that? Oh, Big U going the other way. Down to 8.5. Nah, crank it to 10.5. So Oilers win tonight. Thunder 10.5. Riders just keep it at 3.5. Or do we bring that down to 2.5? And we do it like it's the lock shop parlay where we look at just the openers. Again, Stanley Cup Final opener, NBA Finals opener, CFL season opener. We put it all together. Duck Dad was asking about my thoughts earlier about Germany and Portugal. UEFA's Nations League match today, Spain, France tomorrow. I didn't look at the numbers. What do we got on Play Alberta? Let me throw that one up there. Nations League, there it is. Germany minus 118, Portugal plus 275, draw plus 275. I did like Germany. I'm just not sold on Portugal. Portugal can beat lower teams. They can maybe win a couple matches here or there, but as long as Ronaldo's in the squad, everything has to go through Ronaldo or he gets a temper tantrum. And they have some really good players in Portugal, but I think they don't get utilized properly because things have to go through Ronaldo and not the other way, and where it should be for the whole team. I think Ronaldo would be a wonderful sub right now for Portugal in like the 60th minute. Imagine getting Ronaldo coming on the pitch for 30 minutes to end that match. I think that would be perfect for Portugal, but Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't think will allow them unless something has changed this week that I'm not aware of. So I do like Germany in today's match. As for tomorrow, that's a tight one. That is a good one. The Euros last year, Spain got past France in the semis, if I'm not mistaken. I'd go Spain. I'd still go. Spain, Germany. If it's Nation League final, that is what's coming up. That's where I'll go with that one. Let me jump into the inbox here. All right, no one. Am I good with that parlay, that lock shot parlay? No one's giving me like a thumbs up or a thumbs down or anything like that. Am I good with that one? I need your help on that one, guys and gals. I need your help because it's been a while since I've been on the lock shop. I was on it a lot last summer, which was a good time. And I'll be back on quite a little bit later in the weeks this year too, especially I think on Thursday. There are days where Dusty's flying off, and I do love the Thursdays because I got to do it with Huss and we got to do our CFL best bets. But there we go. Big Uke. Lock it in. Duck Dad. I like that parlay, Matt. So what we'll do is Oilers money line tonight, OKC -10.5 tomorrow, Riders -3.5 tomorrow. There's your lock shop parlay. We'll be up at playalberta.ca a little bit later today. And then what are you boys kind of working on for the grandest parlay? Where are you guys looking towards, at least at the very end right now? Duck Dad also, when Dusty is away, the soccer talk comes to play. Actually, Duck Dad, as you say that, we'll have to look at Canada soccer this weekend. That will be something we'll have to do on Friday. We'll have to look ahead to Canada, Ukraine on Saturday as they're out playing the friendly out in Toronto. Do we have any other real soccer that we need to get to at this moment? This summer, though, we do got Gold Cup. We will have Gold Cup to discuss, Duck Dad. So when I am in replace of Dusty, we'll have some soccer to discuss this summer. There's no question about that. So and as we get into August, maybe there'll be some Premier League part. There's a lot we can do with that, and then there is still going to be CPL action. Jen, cool. Come in the Discord and find out, Maddie. Well, I'm doing a show, Jen. I can't just go full. I'm already into the nasty chat. I'm already into the Paris Jewelers inbox. I can't add a third thing I'm looking at while doing a show. But I will say, I know I don't post. Once in a while, I do lurk in there. So I do see once in a while what's going on. So I always forget to click it. There's just so much going on. Woe is me, smallest violin. I understand. Oilers, Panthers, that is coming up later tonight. Trev, your mic is there. I do want to throw one that Huss threw at me to yesterday.
Do it, baby.
The idea of who gets the cup second. Connor McDavid lifts the cup. If the Oilers win, Connor McDavid lifts it.
Yep.
Who does he hand it to?
It's funny. I did a prediction video on this last year, and I wanted to publish it, but obviously
you didn't.
Well, no, they didn't win, Matty.
Well, you can't post it after they win.
Well, yeah, because I was like, okay, it was before the series even started. I'm like, here's how I think it's going to happen, and then I was going to post it.
Yeah, but did you put something up so I could prove that you were?
Well, it wouldn't have mattered because they didn't win, right?
I know,
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but when you filmed it,
yes,
did you put up like the date or something?
Yep.
Okay, because I'm like, you can't just post that after.
I know. No, I made sure because I knew that people were going to be coming at me, but it's obvious. It's obvious. I would be blown away if Nugent Hopkins doesn't get it. It's Nugent Hopkins. Like, I don't know how you can dispute that.
It's because of the friendship that Connor and Leon
been here.
the friendship that they have, and how Leon is number 2, and he might already be the Hart winner. And to Jamie, said stop talking. But this is a bet play. You could go bet on this.
Yes.
On other sites, this is something you could go jump on.
It's like Gatorade.
As Huss said yesterday, there are some ways you can go about it, and you could bet on it in terms of straight up. Doesn't matter who wins, and it changes the values. You could bet on it if the Panthers win it. You could bet on it if the Oilers win it, and go about it that way. There is actually some betting implications of this, that it's not a stop talking about it, you got to win first. You can't bet on it if they win first. Mm-hmm. You got to bet on it prior type thing. It's just, he might be a Hart Trophy this year. There's that part of me that goes, I can see that. But it's a 2-horse race.
If it's definitely, like, it's between those. It's Connor and then Nuge to Dry, or it's Dry to Nuge. But I like to think I'd be baffled.
Aiden O'Neill, I think Leon would tell Nuge to go get it.
Yeah, I honestly think
it's not always completely up to Connor in that sense too. Well, and the team would probably discuss.
I guarantee, yeah, like Leon would be right up there pushing Nuge to get it. No, I'll get it after, something like that.
No, I don't. Penner's Pancakes. Maddie needs some Mario and Luigi shirts. No, I don't, because the best Mario character.
There it is, Yoshi.
It's Yoshi.
Yep, looks good.
Nothing better than Yoshi. There's not many. This is the one shirt I get more compliments on than any other shirt I've ever worn. I was stopped, I remember, at a Walmart once where some guy just wanted to talk to me about Yoshi quickly. And he's like, I love that shirt.
It's funny. I'm terrible with names. This is not a surprise to anyone. But who is he comes to CTV. He does hits here every now and then. Get some footage of the boys.
David Owasuk is one of them. We have
younger fella. Always happy.
I'm forgetting his name now. He's a younger guy.
Me too.
Jeremy.
Yeah, it's Jeremy.
Why don't I know his name?
But when he came by,
Jeremy Thompson.
Yeah, and he did a hit with you, and you were wearing that shirt. That's why I'm like, oh, Yoshi's getting some airtime tonight on CTV.
Yoshi's just the best.
That's awesome.
Yoshi's just amazing. That's the best. Lock Shop coming to an end. Thank you, Trev, for coming on. Thank you to Matt Humans from VSiN Sports. Tomorrow we'll recap the Stanley Cup Final, Game 1, do a little NBA Finals, see if there's any updates that we can go to with the RBC Canadian Open, and we will look at the best bets for Week 1 in the Canadian Football League. Up next, it is the Oil Stream. We've got Jay with Tommy live at Rogers Place. We've got EST Afternoons, Hernan Salas, Walking Gauge. We got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. That goes from 3 until 5. 5 until 6, it's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game show. Tommy live at the Canadian Ice House with Hernan and Cass. Then it's an Oiler game, and then the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. But our 12 hours of coverage leading up to Game 6, or Game 1, I should say, of the Stanley Cup Final, it continues and rolls on here. I am Matt Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in to the Lock Shop. We really appreciate it. Lock Shop and Play Alberta presented, or Lock Shop and Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. As I mentioned, Oil Stream coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.